Hello and welcome to a tier list video. I'm Phill.
And I'm Vicky.
And we are doing this in celebration of our channel reaching 10 years old.
10 years!
And we decided it'd be fun to do something a little bit different and rank stuff. So
yeah.
We put out on Twitter and on YouTube for people to give suggestions. We've taken those suggestions into consideration, but this is the first of what will be a short series of videos of just us discussing all the most important things in life, starting with the Zelda Bosses. So the way that a tier list works, if you've not done one before, is that it goes from S rank, which is usually in games and stuff like the top tier, and then they have different numbers. This one gets really split. Like you got S, A++, A+, B, C, D, D+, F, F+.
The person who made this list was very detailed. They were
very
hard
detailed
about their love of the bosses.
And there's never any E in this either. It just goes straight from D+ to F.
Yeah, because who wants E? E is for excellence. It would be very confusing.
That's true. D is for dumb, as in like dumb and stupid and bad.
And F is for like, why bother, really?
Well, F is for fail, but Y is for
I was thinking
bother?
I was thinking.
You're
for
thinking of a swear.
something a bit. Yeah, I was, and I was trying to be a good person.
This is going.
That's not going to last.
So, this first video is the 3D Zelda bosses from all the 3D Zelda games. So we've got our rogues gallery down here that we're going to be ranking today, and we're just going to basically just go through it in order. If we don't know them, they go in F+, because they're not famous enough to be known by us, and they're clearly not a very good boss.
Yeah, because that's how they should be ranked all the time. If we don't know it, it's not good enough, basically.
Okay, so
hey, it's our list, we can do what we like.
exactly. This first one, I don't know it.
No, in the trash.
Absolute trash. Next
right,
one is
Mr.
Zant.
Mr. Zant.
So
from, of course, Twilight.
I really
series.
like this boss fight because it's a revisit of all the previous. It does like a remix, doesn't it, of old bosses?
Yeah, but if I remember correctly from the game, how often do you actually fight him? Is it literally after the Twilight?
Yeah, it's the final boss of the Twilight Palace.
Because he's not a fighter.
He's also on this list as like his hologram that you fight as a mini boss.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose he had his very own style. You knew he was like a spoiled, like, prince. Like, he wanted to be in power. He really did. And sometimes the reactions that you got were totally like stamping his feet and flapping his arms, and I think they build him up really well within the game, because at first he's got the mask on, and then of course it draws back so you can see his face when he talks to Midna, and then of course he takes off completely, and underneath the mask he doesn't look as threatening personally. He looks a little bit kind of pathetic.
The entire mask. Like when it's just his mouth, it looks really creepy.
That looks, because it's proper like gooey and stuff, and he's like,
and he gets like continually frustrated as you like go through, doesn't he? Like his animation.
Is he the one that you jump through the different levels?
Yeah.
Because I suppose that was a little bit interesting. But if you're thinking about different bosses and stuff, I suppose they put a lot more thought into him, because he wasn't actually like the end boss of that game. That would have been Ganondorf.
Yeah.
So they still put enough thought into him, because he was kind of like the main covering baddie.
I think as well at that point in the game, being like, how well do you remember how you beat all these bosses from like the Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Water Temple, etc.
Yeah.
So I was going to put him in A+.
Okay.
Just in the context of this scale, I don't think he's like bordering on perfection or anything, but I think I think he's up there amongst the Twilight Princess bosses.
Yeah, and he's definitely better than somewhat good. He was a good boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, agreed.
The next one is one of the forms of Majora. So you've also got this Majora down here. So if we... And then you've got the mask, which is like the final one, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I thought the one with the legs was the final one.
Was the mask the first one? It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
done the final boss.
Is the mask just the concept of the... Yeah, the mask was floating around, and then it grows a body, and then it grows...
Yeah, because there's two
Nice.
different ones with a body. There's one where it's more of like a fighter, and this one it just kind of runs away from you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and teases you. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a dick.
So,
Would you say they're all on the same par, or would you say there's one bit that's better than the other bits?
I think the thing is it's difficult. So if you do it as fierce deity, then you can just basically slice them all down really quickly.
Yeah, so it's not too...
I would have
Too
maybe
difficult.
put them all in average, just because none of them really stand out.
See, if you're going... We're going off the actual fight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about the concept in the game, I'd say the Majora's Mask is perfection.
No, we have to go off like the fight and like the mechanics of it.
Yeah, off the fight. Oh, okay, then
Because
yeah.
otherwise, like Ganondorf
The-
and Majora and stuff are just gonna win. Like,
They are. Majora's Mask is an awesome concept for the game, and I love that. I love that game. So
we're just sticking them all on average.
yeah, fine.
People can complain at us in the comments. It's fine.
Feel free.
Next is, I think it's Odowa, isn't it? From Majora's Mask.
Yeah, you're definitely remembering that better than I am. But he was just the
He was
water.
a big sword fighter guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, waterfall temple. I
Yeah.
don't remember him being that inventive. It was quite easy to beat him. He was just with his sword, and he
He
literally
was
just
a
tried
big
to hit
fight.
you.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
a big sword fighter, wasn't he? So, average.
I'd say bad.
Oh.
Oh.
So what?
Should we go for somewhat bad?
Somewhat bad.
Somewhere in the middle? Because,
Yeah.
I don't remember him being very memorable.
So I've never done Skyward Sword. So this next one you've said is like the main baddie of that. So
Yeah, don't ask me what his name is, but so because of the mechanics of Skyward Sword, it's always been a game that I really want to come out on a later console, because I really, really want to play it properly. But I only ever got as far as starting the fire temple, because I just found the mechanics too hard. So when I fought him in his like easiest form, after the first temple, he was really difficult, but not because he was a difficult baddie, it's because it was a difficult mechanics, because of the stupid Wii Plus motion sensor. So I would personally say that his characteristics are potentially awesome, but his actual gameplay is rubbish due to the mechanics. So potentially if the Skyward Sword came out again on a more up-to-date console, say the Switch, it might be better. So I'm quite happy putting him at like somewhat bad.
okay.
So not absolute crap, but because it wasn't kind of his fault. But yeah, the mechanics were very annoying.
So next is Dark Link from Ocarina of Time.
I think he's an awesome baddie.
So I'm looking like at the top because he is one of the best.
Borderline in perfection or perfection. Just because the whole concept of him was like fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely for such like an early on game into the Nintendo 64 series and stuff, and the first 3D Zelda game to come up with basically beating your own reflection.
I think it's an iconic boss as well. And the fact that it's only like a mid-boss as well, it's kind of...
It wasn't even like a big boss, was it? But the design of his level as well, with the water and the little building and the tree.
And you walk past the tree and your
And then it's
shadow
like-
is gone. And you turn
You have
around
to-
and there he is.
And he uses the same moves against you, so it's more strategizing. It's not a big showy, but I feel it had...
So
more
are we
to
saying
it.
bordering or are we saying perfection? Because I honestly think it's one of the best boss for battles.
That sounds like you want to go perfection.
Let's put him up
Let's
there.
go... let's put him up there.
Next is the head of the Yiga clan, which is...
You're going to have to take this one.
The thing is with the Breath of the Wild bosses, they're all... Like, none of them really stand out to me, possibly because I've only done them once compared to some of these others. But I remember the Yiga clan members just being annoying to fight more than, like, interesting.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So he may end up in somewhat bad as well. I think. Maybe I'm forgetting something really cool about his boss fight, but I just remember the Yiga clan members just being annoying more than actual fun.
I think some of these are just going to turn up in somewhat bad, not because we think like they're bad design or anything. It's just either the mechanics or they just haven't been as memorable.
Yeah.
So
next is a big one. It's back to Twilight Princess for Ganondorf. So this, I'm guessing by the design of this and the fact that you've got Beast Ganon down here, this is specifically...
So it's the final
that
section.
final bit where you're just sword fighting with him.
In the little, like, grassed area that he kind of cornered off.
Yeah, this is after you knock him off his horse. I'm not sure if his horse is like a separate... I can't see it here. So let's say, yeah, it's the bit where he's riding his horse, which, to be fair, can be a bit of a pain in the ass. But the actual...
would you say he's better or worse than Zant? That's basically it, isn't it?
The fact that he's split up into his phases, I would say... I'd say he's no better than Zant.
Well, I'd say Zant was potentially better.
Yeah.
Just because, since we've been talking about it, like, the way he jumps through the different boss levels, the way that his personality comes across in his fighting, like, you can see when you defeat him, like, he gets all stroppy and stuff. He's got a good character. Whereas Ganondorf, I mean, he's a good baddie, and there's certain Zelda games which I think he's a better baddie, but that particular fight is literally, you go up to him and you have to hit him with your sword, and then there's nothing more, is there?
Yeah.
Am I remembering that right? I hope I'm remembering
it
that
is,
right.
It is just, it comes down to just a straightforward sword fight, which is cool, but it's also not, like, as good as other fights.
So shall we say he's either on par or worse?
Should we say good? Because I enjoy it. I enjoy the end of Twilight Princess.
It's not a bad end, but I'd say that's a collection of all the baddies. I'd say that's a collection of Evil, Zelda, the Beast form, the ride along, and the sword fight.
Yeah. So actually, well, Evil Zelda is next, and actually, since we're doing it, we might as well just grab Beast.
Beast form as well.
Oh, is this him? Yeah, I think
that might be him.
I think that's him riding his horse.
So it's not even the riding along.
It's just a sword fight. So actually, I might move him down to B.
Yeah? Because it's literally... And I'd say put the horse ride in B as well. Because that is annoying.
Because that's the thing. You have to, like, line it up perfectly for Zelda to shoot him with the light arrows, which is...
And then you've got the other baddies going around, and it's just a bit of a ball ache.
I think the Beast Ganon is slightly better. I'd say Beast Ganon is probably A, because you can fight him as Wolf. You fight him as Wolf, which is cool.
I'd say he's even on par to Zant, like an A+ potential, because I did really enjoy.
And he like warps around.
Yeah, and you get, as you said, you get to fight as the Wolf, which is a good side of it, because you've been like Wolf and Link all the way through. Compared to
Ganondorf as well, you're fighting him in his beast form in your beast form, and then you fight him in human form as human form. So.
Yeah. Imagine Wolf Link, like, fighting just Ganon. Ah! I need a tetanus shot here, people. What about Evil Zelda?
I think Evil Zelda may be in the middle, because I don't think it's on the level of Beast, but I think it's fun, and like she does like the area of effect.
And it was a nice twist. Definitely after she disappears, because of course she saves Midna. Spoilers! For like, how old is that game?
Yeah.
It's good to see her come back and actually play a part, instead of just disappearing and then reappearing at the very end.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. Yes.
Next is just a regular mini boss. It's just I think this is a Dynalphos. So this is the mini boss.
I think they're from the Legend of the Ocarina of Time, aren't they?
So this is Ocarina of Time. I think this is the mini boss from Dodongo's Cavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's
fine.
It's nothing. It's not very memorable.
So are we saying what, average? I honestly think
some of these other ones are more memorable, but for bad reasons. Whereas that's not very memorable, but it's not particularly bad.
It's fine for like an early boss fight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Average. It's fine. Bongo Bongo.
Bongo Bongo.
Everyone knows that name. And of all the names of the baddies, I was like, I know that one. Bongo Bongo.
I got that reference.
And because of that name, he has to be like perfection. No, I'm joking.
We have to create a new rank above perfection, just called S plus Bongo Bongo.
Oh dear. So, yeah, he what would you say as him as a baddie?
I think it's quite like it goes back to kind of Nintendo's weird fixation with bosses with hands to attack.
Yeah.
But I think he's one that is quite difficult for like the first few times you fight him. Once you get him down, he's not too bad. But I think the fact that he's like invisible, so you need to use the lens of truth, and like he's quite a tough boss as well. I think he's a pretty cool boss actually. I'd put him in maybe somewhat good.
Because of course you've got the hands, you've got the environment as well, being the drum.
Yeah.
And you've got the eye to focus on, and the invisibility. I'd say he's even good.
Yeah. No,
I'd
go
say
with that.
Twilight Princess.
He's one of the better bosses I think of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, and as you said, there's loads of elements to that boss that you need to take into consideration to beat, definitely for the first time.
So our next one is the mini boss from the Sky Temple from Twilight Princess, like the flying lizard sword fighter dude.
Oh.
Yeah, it took me. That's a really bad angle of the picture.
That's a very bad. I was just like, is that a leg? I'm not sure. Don't like that picture. Average.
Yeah, because you have to pull it down, don't you, with the claw shot?
Yeah, so it's just not memorable, really.
So stick it in average.
Unless you cool with average?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
we're kind of agreeing quite well, aren't we?
I have a feeling that a lot of mini bosses are going to end up in average because they're fine.
There's nothing wrong with them. They kind of do their job. They're mini boss.
Yeah.
They get you to use the equipment that you've just got.
Next is Morpher.
Is that the water temple one?
Yeah.
I hated that one. And not because, like, it was good, and I'd probably put it quite high because it was a very inventive one. It was just a bugger to try and beat. That one, consistently, along with the fucking water temple. I knew this one would come back. The water temple was a real so-and-so in Ocarina of Time for me.
But like you say, it's a creative boss, isn't it? Because it's got like the tentacles and stuff, and it's like the living
tentacles.
Water.
You have to pull it out. It's about the environment as well. You have to stay on those little platforms. It can like pull you into the water. It seemed to like knock a lot of life out of you in a very short amount of time, which is very annoying. So I'd say, oh dear, what are we thinking? I wouldn't say it's bordering on perfection though.
No.
I'd say it's really good.
Yeah.
I know I made fun of this like graph,
yeah, we made fun of how many tiers there are, but we're using them.
But actually, really helpful. And I like the little descriptions because they're like, actually, yeah, that is really good.
Yeah. Next is
that Ganondorf?
That's Ganondorf, and we'll do this one as well because these are the two phases from Ocarina of Time's final boss. So this is obviously the indoor bit where you play table tennis with them.
Yeah, I'd say borderline perfection. I really like that.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same. I was going to say actually both of these bordering on perfection.
Borderline perfection, yeah. I mean, the multi-colourful butt, loads of jokes I can make about that. But I think if you consider Ocarina of Time as a game as a whole, I think it was a really perfect way to finish it.
Yeah.
And a really good build up to big old badass and...
Yeah, and also there's lots of ways that you can do that final Ganon bit. Because he gets distracted by Deku Nuts, he gets distracted by, like, different item combinations. Or you can just go and, if you time it right, you can spin through his legs and get his tail that way. So I think it is a really good boss.
And the fact that you lose the sword as well.
And I think
so it makes you think about stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing in common between, say, Beast Ganon and Dark Link is the fact that there's multiple ways you can fight it.
Yeah. It makes you think outside the box.
Rinse and repeat the one method.
which is a bit like that woodland one. It was just
Yeah.
a sword guy. All you had to do is find the niche and repeat. Which was a bit meh.
So for this one, I'm going to move these two, because obviously this is another 2 phases of the same fight.
Right, okay. I love Tavana?
Twin Rover.
Twin Rover. I love this fight. I think it's great. When I saw that she was coming up, I was just like, ah! I think it's great because you got the fire, you got the ice, you got the merge, I think it's really good.
Yeah,
love
so
it.
I think these, again, it's difficult to say because these especially are so interlinked, as we kind of have to. I think they'd get the same rating because they're two parts of the same whole. I like the first bit where you have to send one
Shoot each
beam at the
other.
other.
Yeah.
And then the second half is where you like are charging your shield, aren't you? And you have to make sure to get the same colour over and over. It's quite a hard boss if you don't know how to do it. But
And it's with the platforms as well, isn't it? So you can fall down and kind of mess things up.
So are we saying like really good, bordering on perfection?
It's whether we consider that fight as good as the Ganondorf fight at the end.
I'm inclined to say no, but do we consider it better than Morpher? Bear in mind we can just put it like further up in A+.
I'd say it's really good. I'd say it's the same as Morpher. Personally, yeah. But as you said, these kind of double ones, I do feel that you have to kind of rate them the same unless one of the sections were like considerably worse, like the 4 stages of the final thing in Twilight Princess.
Yes. Yeah.
But that uses different mechanics. Whereas I feel that the Travana twins, or whatever they're called, they use the same mechanics. It was just kind of tweaked for the second bit with the charging rather than the aiming.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one looks like it. Is this the mini boss from the Sand Temple in Twilight Princess?
Yeah. You have to cut the strings and then it kind of goes. Rah.
Yeah, and then he's just got the big sword. And don't you have to use your wolf link for this one, or you can be at least?
Yeah, because I think you have to be able to see it. I think it's same as the Waterfall Temple. I'm thinking it's just another sword guy.
Another sword guy, so
Just
average.
another sword guy. Well, we have looked through the other lists on here, and we were looking at the items. How many swords were on that list of items for the Zelda games? Like, so many swords.
Okay, so next is the Forest Temple Ghosts, the pose. See, they're not difficult to beat, but I find them quite interesting.
Okay.
Like, I think it's a good overarching thing to be doing throughout the Forest Temple, even though pose themselves aren't particularly interesting.
No, and each one you have to defeat in a different way. Like, one of them you shoot with your arrow, one of them is a little mini
the
puzzle.
First 2 are the same. You have to shoot the paintings, and they all end with just a straight fight. It's really the purple one is the only one that's majorly different.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I was thinking they're all different.
No. So,
where would you put it?
I'm wondering, because don't they redo basically this concept in Twilight Princess? And I can't. But I think they do it with just generic enemies, don't they?
Yeah.
So I can't see them there. I think I would put them. I'd say they're above average for a mini boss because they're more memorable for me.
No, go for it.
So I'd put them there.
Yep, that's cool with me.
This next one is a Majora's Mask boss. He's the one he moves between the different set points and like fires beams at you.
Okay. I don't really remember him. That might say a lot.
I think he was I think he was better than average, so I'd put him there as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Next is one of the Breath of the Wild ones. I might say something controversial here, but I think all the Breath of the Wild Ganon enemies from the different...
Why don't you link them all up? As in have them all...
All 4 of them here.
Yeah. She's going to talk about them. There you go.
I think they're all pretty... Like, they're interesting, but they're all reasonably similar in that you're just kind of wearing them down over time. and just avoiding their none of them are that memorable.
Okay. I haven't played. I really want to, but I haven't played Breath of the Wild. So you put them where you think.
See, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him down and then put all 4 of these in somewhat bad. Because the main problem that Breath of the Wild has is its dungeons aren't very defined. It's got obviously its shrines.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Fair enough.
Next is the Fire Temple boss from Twilight Princess.
Yep. I thought he was pretty good.
I liked how you had to put on the boots and trip him up and then...
Yeah, and then if you hadn't put the boots on in time, you'd fall down into the lava. There was a lot of elements to consider.
Well, you've got the one where you fall into the lava is the mini boss. It's this guy. So that's the guy that you fight above the lava pit.
Oh, I'm getting them confused, aren't I?
Yeah.
And then he's the one you knock down the pillars.
Yes.
Well, he tries to knock down the pillars.
Yeah. He's the one that's like...
I don't remember
I
don't remember either of them being that hard, but...
I like I like that fire temple though. I like the magnet thing.
Yeah, it had a good feel to it, and the whole build-up of trying to get up there and beating the guy using sumo and stuff like that.
So what we say?
There's a lot of interesting elements.
Would you say either of them are high enough to be good, or would you say they're both like somewhat good?
I'd say they're both somewhat good. They're both memorable, but I wouldn't say it was a particularly good or bad fight.
No. Next is the big bug that you fight as the last bug in the Twilight Zone.
Average.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just kind of there, and
Yeah.
I know why he's there, but you do it on the water, don't you?
You have to climb on his belly and attack all his things that are flaming.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just keep on falling back into the water, don't you? Well, I do.
Yeah. I think we all do.
Skull Kid from... See, I wouldn't even consider this
No,
a
it's
boss.
not Skull Kid.
No, this is a Skull Kid.
Yeah, he's from the Twilight Princess, isn't he?
Yeah.
From the
Lost Woods.
Secret Grove or whatever.
Yeah.
Lost Woods.
He plays his music and you get attacked by the puppets.
And you don't really... You fight him at the end, don't you?
Yeah, you just
But it's literally find him and
shoot
shoot
him with
him.
arrows from a distance.
Yeah. I'd say average.
Yeah.
I'd say he's more memorable than the bug, but I wouldn't say his gameplay is good enough to be with the pose. You know?
I think we're too generous to the bug.
Yeah. Bye, bug.
Okay, so next is a classic Zelda enemy. It is the suit of armor. Oh god, I'm gonna say classic Zelda enemy and then I'm gonna forget what it's called. I've literally been fighting a ton of these in randomizer,
So classic.
Dark Nut. Are they Dark Nuts? I don't know. Either way, classic.
Classic!
See, we've decried a lot of the sword fighters, but these are the ones which actually are fun to fight.
They are, because you have to knock off all their armour, don't you?
Yeah.
The more armour you knock off, the quicker they are. So, but the more armour they keep on, the stronger they are, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's a general sort of bash it down as you go. They do have 2 versions of this that I'm thinking of. Isn't there one in the Ocarina of Time and one in Wind Waker?
So this is the Twilight Princess one.
Oh, so they have done this sort of baddie before.
Yeah.
Is there other pictures there?
I was looking... Yeah, I've been looking to see if they've got it from the other games. Otherwise, we can just say this is like... Because they play the same in every game, basically. But this is... It's because it's the mini-boss of the Temple of Time in Twilight Princess.
Oh, okay.
I'd say somewhat good. Or
Yeah.
would you say even good? Because I like fighting these.
If you take them not just as the mini... I know you have to take it as the boss, but the general, like, when they just turn up and stuff. From all the games, I enjoy them as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, should we go good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
Now we've got...
The monkey with the butt.
The monkey with the bright red butt who you have to roll into the pillars.
Before he
Throws
gets
the
a
boom
plant.
No,
No, the
you're
next
thinking
stage.
you're thinking of the final boss.
Yeah.
Which is one of these, clearly. Is it this one?
Yes. Well, these pictures are very hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of these are very difficult to tell from a distance as to what we're actually looking at. I think
It does look like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are both the forest temple bosses from Twilight Princess.
The monkey's fine. Again.
I like him. I'd put him above average.
Yeah.
Because it's
somewhat good.
It's quite fun having to like knock him off the pillars. It's like a bit different. The final boss, which is where you have to guide the bombs using the boomerang into the mouth.
Yeah. I thought that was very annoying. It was. Because how many times have you thrown that thingy boomerang and it just hits the outside of his mouth? He's not opening his mouth.
So are we saying average, or do you want to go even? You want to say it's not even?
I'm cool with average, but he was very annoying.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
This is the same one as before. So, are we just this? Done.
Yeah.
Next one is the bird from the Forsaken Fortress as Wind Waker. You have to smash his face in with a hammer.
Yes. Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, I think that's another somewhat for me.
Yeah. It was alright.
Like the Phantom's Ant. I think this...
I didn't... Oh.
Sorry, you go. You go.
I was going to say, I didn't think he was good as the actual Zant.
Oh, nowhere near. He's just, like, you have to fight him, like, 4 times, don't you? And he just...
Yeah, and it's just the same sort of repetitive sort of...
He just throws enemies.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to put him under somewhat bad.
Yeah, bit meh.
Bit meh. Who's this?
He looks like a pirate because he has a hook. These are my detective skills. Should we just put him in absolute trash?
Yeah.
If we're not sure. I don't like him. He's annoying.
What, this one?
The next one.
The dead man.
He's easy enough to beat. He's just annoying.
Yeah.
I'd say it's bad. I don't think he's that memorable.
Yeah, and you fight him like 3 or 4 times across.
Yeah, he's just a bit meh, personally. I think we need to... No, I put him as bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think we're getting very comfortable in the somewhat good, average, and somewhat bad. I think we need to commit to either higher or lower. So I'm going to call him bad.
Yeah. So, as we're saying that, I'm going to upgrade Zant. Because I've been thinking about it. Compared to these, I think he's better than these.
Fair enough.
But I don't think any of these should move up. I don't particularly think any of these should move down.
No.
So, I think this is about what you'd expect for distribution.
Yeah.
This is Majora's Mask. You have to burn the curtains off and get him with the light.
Oh, I never got that far. I literally got to the point of the stone temple and stopped playing.
He's alright, he's average.
Yeah.
Right. Ganon
from the Wind Waker. Yes, I want to put him up there. I want to put him high-ish because I thought it was pretty good to fight.
Yeah, and that fight as well with obviously again the scenery of like it's starting to flood around you, isn't it?
Yeah, because you have to go and find Hyrule, which of course has been swallowed by the ocean, and then you go on a little adventure to go and find where he is, and everything like is starting to kind of bend in on itself and starting to flood. And then the end bit where you've got your sword basically in his skull. I mean,
he tends.
I'd say maybe just below perfection. I think it's that high. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm looking to see if his other phases are dotted around, because obviously you got this phase, which is like, unless that is like the amalgamation of all his like Phantom game and stuff.
It might be. There's quite a few.
Yeah. All right. So I think bordering on perfection. I think this I would put as maybe good.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun as the final stage.
And some of the bits, like the one where he's just like a worm and you just have to hit his tail with the light arrows, is just a bit annoying to line up.
Yeah.
It's still fun, and it's got great music, but...
The music and the look of the game. I mean, it was such a bold move for them to do for Wind Waker because it was such a cartoony look. And so many people judged it for that. But the overall look for Wind Waker is amazing. They really commit, even with the smoke clouds, they really commit to the cartoony style. And they just make it work.
I don't know this next one. I think it's Skyward.
Trash.
Don't know this one either, actually.
Trash.
This looks
Can't
like...
see that one.
These next three all look like Breath of the Wild bosses, but I don't actually recognise any of them.
Trash, trash, trash.
So I guess you got to put... Yeah.
You gotta put them somewhere. There you go.
We're clearing these out a bit quicker now. Isn't that nice? This one is from Wind Waker. Oh, he's the hands. It's just too zoomed in. He's another one with two hands, but he's not as good as Bongo Bongo.
No, he's not.
He's budget.
He had the environment as well,
Bongo.
because you kind of stood on his actual drum as well. Whereas that's a budget. Where's Bongo Bongo?
Bongo Bongo we put in good, so I'd be happy putting this in like average.
Yeah. Right, this next one.
Goma.
He's not Goma. She's not a big baddie. She's not a hard baddie. But I would put her as either really good or bordering on perfection, just because she is iconic.
And it's a great first boss as well.
It is, because the whole concept of like the poor Deku tree, and she's kind of burrowed into him. You can tell that she's burrowed into him, that she's poisoning him from the inside. And the way she makes, like, if you know the game really well and you can defeat her without the babies appearing, but for your first playthrough, like the babies falling from the sky and the way she hangs from the ceiling, that creepy eye, I'd say,
better, the same, or worse than Twin Rover and Morpher.
Oh no. I knew we'd get to this point at some point, and he's like, I don't know. What do you think?
Because I'd put her in... I definitely wouldn't put her as better, let me put it that way. So maybe if we...
Okay, let's put it the same then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
This is the one where you get the dragon to fall on the head. From Wind Waker.
Yes! That was funny. Like you pulled on the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think that one's a good first boss as well. That's
another really good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what I want to say the second boss. Because the first one would be, it's always wood.
Next one is Goat from Majora's Mask, and I'm gonna say perfection.
When you're Goron,
and you have to go in spike mode, and you have to take it down.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say S rank. Easy S rank.
Easiest. That was such a fun battle because you have to roll and you have to hit him, and yes.
This one, I have no idea what I'm looking at, so I'm tempted to say trash.
Yeah.
This is so this guy I'm pretty sure appears twice as well. Let's see if I can, because this is there we go. It's the King Bulbin. So I think this is when you fight him in Hyrule Castle, and this is where you fight him on the bridge.
See, the bridge I'd say is quite high. Because
I always found that really annoying. Like,
did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
I always quite enjoyed it.
Like it was like a fun concept because it was jousting, but I was just bad at it. But then like we can't put it down just for that, so
we could put it like I was thinking really good, so we could put it as good.
Yeah.
Would you add somewhat good?
No, I'm happy with good. What about this? What about his final battle in Hyrule Castle?
I'd say it's good as well. Quite enjoyed him as a baddie. Quite enjoyed fighting him.
And then at the end, he just basically is like, well, you're stronger, so I'm going to just go now. Bye. Yeah.
I accept that the strong win and the weak lose. I lost. I'm weak. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Don't stay in touch.
This is the fish one from the Water Temple in Majora's Mask. I really don't like this boss.
No, nor do I.
I would put this as very bad.
Yeah, I'm good with that. To be fair, that's
To
first...
be fair, it got redesigned in Majora's Mask and isn't as bad. But on the N64, it was just really annoying.
Well, it's the first boss that we've actually know and played against that we have put in the very bad section. To be fair, absolute trash is just ones we don't know.
If they're not famous enough to be known by us, they're trash.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
This one is, I want to say it's Majora's Mask, where you have to use the hook shot to pull them out.
Yeah.
That's fine, average.
It's fine. Yeah, nothing special about it.
This one is like the sandworm from Wind Waker. Is that another one where you use a hook shot?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
But I quite like the burning spinning guy.
I think he's pretty fun. He's quite easy to beat, but he's a good mini boss.
Yeah, and he's a bit memorable, isn't he? Because he chases you around in a circle and then he kind of jumps in the fire again.
And when you
manage to put him out, he's just like, oh shit, run, 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 run. He's there. Run, 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 run. He's still there. Run, run.
Yeah.
He's just running around in circles until he's like, oh yeah, I could jump back in the fire and relight myself.
I'd say good.
So yeah, good or yeah, no good. We're good. We're good.
So these are both from obviously Lord Jabu Jabu.
I hate the one with the sad face.
This one.
This
one's
so
really
annoying.
easy to beat though.
Oh.
You just tank a hit and he turns around and then then you stun him.
Then why does it take me so long to kill him? He's really easy to beat, but then you've got the spikes coming out of the thing, and then he's going round and round, and then it's just like, and then you're dead. It's annoying. Yeah.
I think, okay, if we're going with the final boss, I think the final boss I'd put in either somewhat good or good.
I'm good with good.
Good, good, good.
And I'm cool to put the other guy in like good. He's better than average. I just find him hard, apparently.
Dodongo.
Oh no, somewhat good.
King Dodongo.
No, the other guy, somewhat good.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
King Dodongo. Again, he's very easy to beat.
See, he's quite a fun but then he's like, there's nothing to him. I think it's like 2 cycles and he's dead and he's really obvious.
And all you have to do is like, he just runs into the wall and you just throw a bomb at him. So maybe somewhat good.
Yeah.
Just because of the ease.
He's definitely one that the average is where I'm like, oh, okay, let's just get this over with. This is like, okay, Dodongo, don't mind this, let's go for it.
Yeah, but also there's a difference between the main boss from the water Jumbo Jumbo to Dodongo. I think the main thing is Dodongo is like so easy to beat, whereas the other one makes it good because it is slightly harder to beat it with the spinny bits.
Next, we've got 2 Phantom Ganons next to each other.
Now, the Phantom Ganon from the Forest Temple,
this one,
from the pictures, that one, I want to put near perfection. I love that one.
Yeah, I really like that fight.
It was so much fun, and
so
like
bordering on perfection.
Bordering because
so
you're
this
like,
is basically becoming the almost completely
set.
Ganons.
So Ganon, basically, in any shape or form, we think you're nearly perfection.
Basically, if you're a Ganon below the Ganon level, you're a bad Ganon.
You're bad Ganon.
Alright, this one is the one where you fight outside the Forsaken Fortress.
What do you think?
I think he's alright. I think he's...
Yeah?
I would put him maybe as... good.
Let's put him as good, then.
I don't recognise these next 2.
So... yeah, one looks like a pirate.
4, actually.
Oh, the one with... one of them's
5.
Ganon. The one in the mid 3 in, that's a Ganon, isn't it?
No, that's Demise. That's from the final boss of Skyward Sword, so I don't think either of us have ever done it.
Oh, okay.
So Demise is trash.
Yep.
People are going to be so angry in the comments with us just throwing away the ones we don't recognise.
They'll be like, it's amazing to fight. Why haven't you fought it? They might all, to be fair, they might all be Skyward Sword, so I'm happy to trash all of them. I don't recognise any of them.
Do.
Scorpion one.
So, where's the scorpion one from? Because I was thinking of the spider. I was thinking of this one. Because this one's the Temple of Time in Twilight Princess, and you squash them with the giant hands. And it's really basic, but it's really funny.
So, what?
I'd put very
Average?
So I'd put this one as good or really good, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it. I'd say good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't recognise the scorpion, so we trash.
Trash. Yeah. Everyone's going to be so cross with us. Sorry, guys.
Now, it's the guy with 4 arms.
I have a feeling that I should know that one.
Yeah, me too, but I don't.
So, trash. We might just be forgetting some of them. Right, this
Sky
one...
Dragon. This is from the City in the Sky.
I think it's really good.
I think he's a fun boss.
I think
should we
he's
say
got
really
good
good?
mechanics. Yeah. I think he's got fun mechanics for like what you need to do. You have to climb up the doodads to grab his tail to pull him down.
I think the double claw shot is a good item.
Yes, because it's something that you wouldn't necessarily think of getting 2 of, but once you have 2, it does make getting around a lot easier.
Yeah, it really helps mix up the platforming and that final boss as well, because you can like be like jumping from platform to platform. Okay, so this next one is the final boss of the ice mansion.
Oh, the Yeti lady.
Yeah, who gets possessed.
I'd say that's probably good or higher. I think it's a bit of a fun one.
Yeah, I'd say good. It's like, good is where I'd put like fun bosses.
Yeah, and really good or like close to perfection have to be so memorable.
Yeah. And that's good, but it's not that memorable.
No.
So this is the mini boss from the mansion. Because this is where
I'd
you get the
say
ball
that's
and chain.
probably maybe somewhat bad or average. I wouldn't say it's very memorable. I think the only problem about that
you just
is
hook shot over his head and attack him from behind, didn't you?
Yeah, the hardest thing about that is because it's in such a thin area.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard to work around.
Then frog.
I like the frog. I thought it was funny.
So somewhat good.
Yeah.
This is one of those like Twilight. It was like a big Twilight eagle, I think, at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah, and don't you ride one up the mountain?
Yeah, so this is the one that you fight it and then you ride, then it carries you up the hill.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. Not very memorable.
This is the water temple boss from Twilight Princess, where you have to I like this one actually. You have to swim after it and hook shot onto it.
And then you stab the eye, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the swimsuit in that game wasn't too bad. It wasn't as good as the Nintendo 64 Majora's Mask Zora mask, because nothing has been as good as that one, because that was a little bit overpowered. But I still think it was pretty good for a swimming element to it. I'm not the biggest fan of water levels, and that was doable yet fun.
Really good?
Yeah.
This one is the one that you'd have to do with the spinner.
Oh, I thought that was okay. Yeah, I like that one.
Somewhat.
Because it breaks down, doesn't it? And then it's just the head, and it's like firing, and you have to hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And then you have to ride up the walls, and then you have to like jump off the wall, smack him to the floor, and hit him with your sword.
That was it. Lots of elements to it.
Yeah, so somewhat.
Somewhat.
Oh, this one is the boss of the Majora's Mask Final Temple, where you have to put on the giant mask. And
see, I've never done that one.
I think it's fine. This one is one where you have to shine him with the light, and then this one's great actually. This one's quite funny because he's the one you have to throw him into the spiky pillars, and then he explodes into lots of little versions from Wind Waker. And then you have to kill all the little versions before he reforms.
Yeah.
He gradually gets smaller.
That was a
and
bit
smaller.
of a laugh.
That
Yeah, I
one's
think
really
that's
silly.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good feel good one.
Next, this one looks like it's also... Well, it's definitely Twilight Princess art style. No, sorry, Wind Waker art style.
I don't
I
automatically
cannot for the life of
recognise
me
it.
work out what years though, so trash.
I think some of these, they're either we haven't played it or we just don't recognise them. The photos aren't good enough.
Yeah.
Right, this next one I think needs to be perfection or nearly perfection.
What, Volvagia?
I think she's great. He's great. The dragon's great. I think it's a good battle. I think with the
Whack-a-mole.
whole feel of the temple. Yeah, but the whole feel of the temple as well.
Yeah.
And with her like fiery hair when there's like slumped over, you're literally just going to town with the hammer.
I'd be happy.
Yeah? Yeah? I'm good with
Actually,
that.
I'd say near.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Just think about the other two that are up there. Do you think it is as good as the other two?
I would say it's near, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Alright, so I don't recognise these middle two, do you?
Those are Skyward Sword. It's the guy I said about earlier. It's just the same guy, but it's his development, his
Later
power ups.
version.
Yeah. So I've never actually experienced either of them. So shall we just put them? Yeah.
Right.
Oh. So these two, I like the eyeball. I think it's great because you have to kind of like pull them all
you
off
have to pop
it,
all the bubbles, don't you?
and I like the turtle as well. I find the turtle and the frog very funny. I find those two very funny.
So what, good for both?
Yeah. They're both like not amazing and not like main ones, but they're good. They're feel good sort of ones.
So
Right. If we go through the levels and have a little look and feel if there's any particular comparing them to other ones, should we bump them up or bump them down in submission?
I think the first
Do you
two levels I'm happy with.
Is there any Ganondorf turns or types that you feel are perfection?
The one that gets closest is probably that final fight with Beast Ganon from the Ocarina. But it doesn't.
Okay. But it's not quite, is it?
No.
No. So you're happy with where they are?
Yeah.
Is there any you should feel that they should be knocked down into just really good?
No, not really. I think...
Or knocked up into bordering on perfection? So Beast Ganon from Twilight Princess is the only Ganon not bordering line on perfection.
in that one, because we've got regular Ganondorf from Twilight Princess down in somewhat good.
I know. He's all the way down there. What's up with that?
He needs to really try harder, doesn't he?
And he does. Although he's a bit old now. Nintendo 64, I mean. Come on. Oh, wait, no. That was Twilight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But still. A bit old.
I mean, nothing's leaping out at me to be moved.
No, I'm pretty happy with this list.
Alright.
Please get in contact with us, comment below on how you found our list. I'm sure lots of people will be commenting on our trash section, but you have to work off what you know, and some of them, either the pictures weren't good enough or we just honestly don't know them. You can tell us if we should check out those games for any particular bosses, or that you think, oh my god, you just have to experience this, so let us know.
And we'll see you tomorrow for another list.
Yeah, exciting times. I've been Vicky.
I've been Phil.
And please come and check us out again tomorrow.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.